What is everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Follow Your Arrow, a Keeping It Real podcast. We're all put on this earth for a reason, and 9 times out of 10, your arrow is going to hit where you aim it. Today is the very first episode of the Follow Your Arrow podcast, mini episode, whatever you want to call it. And today, we are with my good pal, Damon Brinkman. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good.
That's great.
Excited.
Yeah, hey. You'll be seeing Damon a lot on these episodes. He might not be on every one. He could be on every one. We plan on getting more people on. There could be 2, 3, 4 people. Just depends how this first episode goes. So bear with us. Things will change. And yeah, we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants here. But yeah, so Damon, how are you? Did I already ask you that? I already asked you that.
Yep.
Well, thank y'all for tuning in for today's episode.
Okay. How are you? Did I ask you that already?
Did I ask you that already? Okay. This little podcast mini-series is going to be episodes anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes long. Sometimes they may be longer if the guest that's on doesn't stop yapping. But that's okay. And it's just kind of, I know this is a fishing and hunting channel, but it's titled Keeping It Real with the real fishing reel in the name. But also we're just keeping it real, and that's the point of this little podcast we got going here. We could talk about fishing and hunting depending on who's on. I know, Damon, you do a little bit of fishing, not a whole ton. I'm the fish guy, just very un poco. Un poco? Un poco?
Poquito, poco. I don't know.
Something like that. We're English.
We're just keeping it real.
We're just keeping it real. And yeah, so we could talk about anything. I know Damon, we were talking last night while we were playing Madden. He's got this giant list of just deep physiological questions that he just thinks and writes down. So I know some episodes we'll dial into those and we'll look at that. We'll do one on this episode, but today we're just going to get a backstory going, okay? You guys already kind of know me a little bit. I'm Josh Heffelfinger, keeping it real. I post fishing, hunting videos, stuff like that. Been, kind of playing Fortnite on live a little bit. If you guys like that, comment down below. We can always do more of that. With Damon as well, of course. But, yeah, so you kind of know me. I'll talk about my story a little bit. But first, we want to get into our guest, Damon Brinkman. Welcome to the show. He could be a co-host. He's a co-host right now. Whoever's on the episode is a co-host. With me, I'll be on every episode, so you all are stuck with me. So, it is what it is. But Damon, I mean,
yes, sir.
Did I already ask you how you work?
Yeah, you did.
I did.
So, you just want to start?
Let's just start at the beginning. So, Damon and I, we met when we were, 14, 15, something around there?
Yeah, about 14.
Yes, and that was, let's see, that would have been 2016, I would say. Just started high school. Damon went to a different school. I went to Grinnell High School, and I started working at this Mexican restaurant, Los Girasoles. If you're in the Grinnell area, it's pretty decent. It's not the best, but it's pretty decent if you go there. Check it out. I'm being honest. But yeah, I was going to work there. I got a job. It wasn't my first job. I worked as a paper boy before, but this is my first real, big boy job at the age of 14. And, yeah, I was a busboy and chips and salsa server. And lo and behold, this kid, bald-looking fella, was also working there because his mom was a waitress. But, yeah, so that's how we met. And, Damon, do you remember the first time that I was very shy. I didn't really talk to him. Do you remember the very first conversation we ever had? Do you remember what that started on? You should. That's a test. If you don't, I'm ending the call right now. So this is up to you.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I know. All right, so we had our little busser station in the back where we had our soda machine and chip rack and stuff like that, and the endless bean dip crock pot.
Oh, that crock pot.
And there was we were getting the mail or something. One of us had to go get the mail for the restaurant, and we came back and it had a DirecTV ad in it. And on it was an NFL Sunday, Red Zone probably ad for it.
Sunday Ticket was big. It was a Sunday Ticket.
Yeah, Sunday ticket, and we were looking at it, and I was like, you know what? It's got a Packers player on it. We should hang it up. And then Josh was like, you like the Packers?
That
And I was like,
Spider-Man
I
meme.
do. Yeah. And then I was like, you like Packers? So we both like the Packers, and we figured that out. And then we both like Madden, and we both played Madden franchise. And, that was pretty much it right there. I mean, we knew we were destined to be best friends after that.
Yeah, it just started snowballing, just rolling down the hill. Yeah, we met at the Mexican restaurant, and we worked there for a couple of years. It was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mr.
Lots of
Valentin,
burritos consumed.
a lot of burritos and a lot of virgin margaritas were consumed. Yeah, very nice family that worked there and were managers. Very nice. We got Valentin, very bald head cook. He was married to the head waitress, and yeah, I miss him. He got deported back down to Mexico. I hope he's doing well. He still comments on my birthday every once in a while. Yeah, so he called me
Stand-up guy.
Mr. Joshua. That's what he called me, and we got 10 cents over there because Damon, Dame, dime, 10 cents. Pretty cool guy. He still comments on my Facebook every year on my birthday, which is in 2 days, 3 days. So maybe you guys will see this before then. But yeah, so we met at 22, baby. We met at a Mexican restaurant, and yeah, life was good. We were having fun. We worked like every day. I swear we worked 40 hours a week, just all the time, just busting tables right after school. Damon would drive his moped all the way from like 20 minutes away, moped gang.
Yes, sir.
And if you guys see me looking past the camera, it's because the way I have it set up, I have my monitor on the other side. My camera's in front of me, so I'm looking at Damon like here, and then I'm looking at my camera when I'm talking. So if I'm looking like this, I'm looking at Damon. So just keep that in mind. We worked a lot at the Mexican restaurant, and then one day, one of the most heroic acts I've ever seen, Damon saved a family, and our time at the Mexican restaurant was cut short that day. I'll hand it off to Damon, but very heroic act, saving a family. I still know that family to this day. Yeah, saved a man's job. A hard-working father. Take it away.
Yeah, long story short, there was some goofing around going back in the dish room. And the way it was set up back there is like a dish room here, and then pretty much the kitchen was right next to it. And we were shooting like a rubber band bracelet, you pull it back and bing, shoot somebody with it. And I shot it at him, and then he shot it at me, and I don't know how many times. Anyway, he ends up flinging that sucker into a bowl of rice back there. And I was like, uh-oh, that's a no-no, so we got to toss that. But anyway, there was one of the cooks, Juan. He was back there.
Valentin's right-hand man.
Yeah. And he wasn't so thrilled about it. He was pretty pissed. And, he was at, like, what happened? And I just knew somebody was getting in trouble for that. And this guy just started working there, actually, and, like, he was one of the waitresses' like husbands or boyfriends, and I knew they had like a couple kids and stuff, and like he just got the job, and I was like, I flung the rubber band, just trying to save the guy. Ended up that was the end of my journey there at Los Girasoles. But I don't really feel too bad about it. I mean, save the guy. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a hero or anything, but
I mean, this is a 16-year-old guy, that just took the bullet. I don't know if you expected that you were going to get fired, but I thought you maybe just thought that you were going to get a little slap on the wrist, and then, I get the text that Damon is no longer working with us. And I said, well, crap. Now the only other people that work here speak Spanish, and I don't know Spanish. And we got a new busboy. That was my right-hand man, and he stunk. One of the worst busboys I've ever seen in my life. He was no Damon Brinkman. And, I brought this up. just because, that's where we first met. That's where we started to become best friends. And then, like I said, that snowball starts rolling. Hits a tree. We don't get to see each other like at all. We play catch sometimes. Damon starts a new job. And this is where
Down the road.
literally probably 2 minutes away down the highway of Grinnell, Iowa. He starts working at the Interstate Grinnell I-80 Casey's. Oh, hey, hold up. I work at Casey's right now while I'm at school. He started working at the Grinnell I-80 subway, which is right across the street. And,
Yes, sir.
bro, did that have so many stories we could tell from there. But the main one is he started working there, got that job pretty fast. The manager at the time, Damon told me, hey, you leave Los Girasoles, my manager said we can get you hired on the spot. Start working right away. Instead of making $5 an hour, now we did make tips at the Mexican restaurant, so it bumped it up a little bit. But we're making below minimum wage, and we were getting panhandled. Now that I look back at it, it was not a good place. It's not a good place. Anyway, yeah.
It taught us some serious life skills, but the pay was
did.
absolutely dog water.
Yeah, back then my stomach could handle about 4 big burritos a day. Cannot do that no more. No. I'm old. We're getting older. And that's something we just gotta learn.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, anyway, so the manager tells Damon, tell me, put in an application, we'll get you hired right away. I do that. I tell the Mexican restaurant, listen, before I even apply, I'm done. I'm out of here. I quit. I didn't like working down there without Damon. And so, I quit. Turned in my application. Kept checking in. 1 week went by. I'm like, it takes some time. Okay, I'm jobless for 1 week. I got some cash saved for my truck and gas and such. 2 weeks went by. I'm like, Damon, what's going on here? Manager said, we're looking at it. I just gotta find time to set up an interview. 3 months go by, and finally I get a call from the subway after I'm. Like I said, I was 16. I drove. I lived out of town, so gas was the big thing. I was starting to run out of some cash. I was getting desperate. Finally, I get the call. Yeah, we'd like to bring you in for an interview. Oops, wrong one. I get an interview.
Oh boy!
I get a job on the spot. I'm back working with Damon Bringman, and when we were both working there, it was me, him, the manager at the time, Lisa, my work mom, who was the manager towards the end of my career at Subway. She's the best. She was also working there, and then like 6 other old ladies, and originally it was just Damon and I worked there for probably five years, I'd say. I there for like 4 years, and then 1 year at a different Subway while I went to college. But some great times, very great times. But yeah, eventually all this old people started leaving except Lisa. Lisa took over the manager position, and then the older women started leaving. One would leave. I'd be like, hey, one of my friends from high school, get on in here. Come work at Subway. It's pretty cool. We had 3 people. Another one will leave. Boom, get another one. Eventually, it was like 8 teenage boys running that Subway under the supervision of the manager. And, bro, nothing ever got done. Obviously, we did our jobs. Nothing ever got done. But this reminds me. Okay, before we got all of our other friends to work there, it was just Damon and I. We closed like every night again with each other at the interstate, talking with people. We had tuna sub guy. If she smells like tuna, don't eat it. We had we had the bus driver. Hate that guy. Just a bunch of cool people. We had steak and cheese, pepper. Remember that guy who would change his voice or whatever?
No, I remember the bus driver guy that you didn't like would always flex his money on us.
Yeah, he'd be like,
$4
$4
sandwich
salad?
costs $8.
100. I gotta find the 5s. 100. It's like, dude, we closed in 2 minutes, and you just brought a whole bunch of people here. Okay? I don't care about your hundreds. But one time we were closing, Damon and I were messing around the whole night. Like I'm talking, we got there at 2. It was 10 o'clock. We closed at 10. We don't have anything done. And so we ended up being in the store till about 12:30 at night that night. And apparently we left it a complete mess because the next morning, lo and behold, the old manager, furious. And she's like, you both need to come in here and take the heat on this. We're going to have a meeting. You're going to get written up. Damon, he was on his way to Omaha, so he didn't get to have that meeting. And
Great trip.
Yeah, I'm texting him. I'm like, you son of a beaver, dude. You fricker. And I had to go take on this punishment for the both of us the next morning, fresh off the press, on my own. Damon did have a meeting like 3 days later, but she was cooled down by then. Boy, was this manager furious, and I was just getting beat around left and right. I got written up. I'm sitting there. She would walk away to help a customer. I'm texting Damon. This is rough, man. But in my head, it's just one of the worst. It was horrible. I was getting all the beating for work that 2 people did. Now, I didn't do anything either. But, one of the main reasons she was mad. Little did we know we had a line of customers out the door.
There was no line.
We don't think there was a line. They say there's a
I
line.
call bull. There might have been. There was the beeper going off. There was maybe
two,
3 people in this store just got there.
And Damon was wrapping my entire body in paper towels to create a mummy. It was a toilet paper. It was paper towel, but we called it a TP mummy. And so we hear this go off. I was like, Damon, we were like, we got to get this all off. And he was like, wait, I got to take a picture. So he's trying to fiddle with his phone. We're getting the picture. Boom, done. Strip all the toilet paper off. Get out there, make the sandwiches. She watched cameras and said that they were waiting for like 15 minutes. Bull honky. So yeah, I got in pretty big trouble for that, even though I was just the one getting wrapped up and Damon was the one wrapping me. But, it is what it is. But yeah, so we just, started the Subway, and we could do an episode later on of like our fun, where we create a list of our funniest times at Subway. We'll do that. So we're a little bit more prepared, can think a little more. But yeah, it was just started with me and him at the Mexican restaurant, went to Subway, got all of our friends to work there. We'll talk more about the Subway Football League, every nighter thing. And sorry, am I boring you? But yeah, and then we actually went to Ellsworth Community College together. We were roommates.
They were roommates.
And yeah, it was going to be a blast. We planned it. We went Target shopping, got all of our things. And, someone just felt a little uncomfortable. They really didn't. I mean, Damon, you really didn't want to go to college. You were just like, he's going to college. I'm going to go to college. I feel like.
Yeah, I was going to pursue a psychology degree.
He was.
Or sports journalism. But, I got there, and I don't think I slept for the first 3 days.
He was homesick. Which, who can blame him?
The bed was very uncomfortable. I didn't like the bed. Okay, we're going to get that straight. And then, there was just something just off. My brain, I was not liking it. Yeah, found out college wasn't really for me. Felt bad leaving my boy, but also that meant he got a whole dorm to himself. So, I mean, he had that going for him.
It was a 4-person apartment, and so we had 2 people, John and Connor, in the other room. Damon and I got there first. We chose the biggest room out of the 2. We made sure to get there like 3 hours early before anyone else would do that. Sorry, John and Connor. But yeah, he left. I was sad, see my boy go, but I knew it, he wasn't having a good time. He was just making himself sick. We had some fun times for the 3 weeks he was there, or however long it was. But yeah, got a whole room to myself. That was pretty cool. My wife now, girlfriend and then fiance at the time, also went to the same college. She lived in a different room. But yeah, I just felt I abandoned my boy. I spent a lot of time with her. Still, I mean, she's my wife now, so I don't feel as bad. But at the time, I felt really bad. But it worked out, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
And now Damon's
worth the investment.
Damon's got a big boy job now, making the money. Just moved into his first home place on his own, and he's doing pretty well. His girlfriend's there from time to time. When she's around, so that helps. And he looks like he's doing pretty good.
looking to move in this month, February.
If we
Just had
reach
that
4,000
conversation.
subscribers, Damon's girlfriend will move in. And if we don't, she can't until we reach it. So you guys have to subscribe. But yeah, so that's just a little bit about us as a beginning. You know, we're still best friends. You know, he was one of my people up at the wedding. I didn't have a best man just because, you know, I didn't want to make any one of my friends feel. We didn't do best man, maid of honor at the wedding just because we didn't want to pick somebody. So I drew names out of a hat and put them in the order I drew names, and that's how it went. Sadly, Damon was at the end. But, you know, the hat, it was ruthless. It was ruthless. We had
Best for last.
Yeah, we had short stack. He was standing next to me. You know, gave me a little bit of a height advantage, make me look, you know, more stout. He's a little guy. Caden, if you're watching this, I'll know you're watching this because you'll hear that, and you better leave a comment right now and say, I'm not the little guy. And if you don't do that, I know you didn't watch this far, and I'm going to hold this against you. But yeah, so I just wanted to start this podcast, which will just, if you made it this far, like if you like it, comment down below. Give us some questions you want us to answer, because this next segment I'm going to get into, just to end it out, it's going to be just, you know, an easier type of question off of Damon's list. Give us some questions, you know, deep thinkers, easy thinkers, just yes or no, this or that, anything, and we'll answer them in the next video. Or one of the next, depends how many record at once. But yeah, just comment that down below. Subscribe if you're not. Check out my other videos if you're there. But yeah, so let's move on. Today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. I just got a notification on my phone.
Wait, what day is it?
International Holocaust Remembrance Day. We're getting taken down. We're getting taken down.
Yeah. It's a sad day, man.
It's a joke. It's a joke. So, Damon, you haven't talked a lot this episode, so I feel bad. But this is just kind of getting at it. If you want to say something now, you can. Otherwise, we can move into the final bit and just talk about real quick, just an easy one of your questions, whatever you want to say, and then. Yeah, so we can do that. If you want to say something, the floor is yours. Otherwise, let's just get into Damon's Deep Thinker segment. Yeah,
so I worked at a place called Martin Marietta, which global company. It's like a rock quarry company. And there would be this place that we work at, like a location, and it was underground. And when you're underground, you don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have, you know, data connection. So on like your downtime, which is very minimal, but like you just drive in a circle basically underground, because I was a haul truck driver for about, 12 hours a day, just driving in a dark circle. Yeah, it gets boring. So I'd just be thinking a lot, just all the time thinking, and every once in a while I'd come up with a good question. And I had this idea. I was like, I'll sit down with my friends and family and I could interview them type deal, make like an iMovie thing. But this would be the perfect time to debut some of these questions, and I think this was a really good idea, kind of adapted into it.
Questions
so I had like a list.
Going to come to light for the first time.
Yeah, they're just kind of like deep questions. I mean, they're not really deep, but like some of them are deeper than others. And
so I cut you off. I ruined your mojo.
No, you didn't. Some of these are deep questions, some of them not so deep. I kind of just would come up with them, off the dome. A couple of them I kind of got off like TikTok or something, like a slideshow. So for the first question we can do.
Yeah, so this will be, we'll do one question for this episode just to end it out. And then for the other ones, we can have episodes where we do multiple questions and we answer your guys' questions. But yeah, so Damon, just pick out a question that you want to just discuss, and we'll end this first episode out. Again, I just want to say this first episode is going to be rough. We're not professionals. We don't have professional equipment. This is just something fun I wanted to include into the Keeping It Real YouTube channel. I want to branch out, keeping it real with the fishing reel. It's focused on fishing, obviously. I do that a lot. It's wintertime. I don't ice fish. I can't go out to the rivers. They're frozen. So I want to expand, keep it real, just be open with each other, Get some random people. There will be some of my friends I get on here, whether it be me, Damon, and him, or just me and him, depending on what Damon's schedules look like at the time, where we do mostly talk about hunting and fishing. But when Damon's on here, he wanted to go for physiology or what is it? Psychology. Yeah, you want to go to psychology for college. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean,
Or journalism.
he's a deep thinker. But yeah. So again, I won't cut you off again. Sorry. But
No, you're good.
what's the question you want to talk about?
Yeah, so for the first question on the list, we can do what is something that at one point in time you viewed as a mistake but actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise?
Yep, I wasn't expecting a heavy thinker. Do you have an answer to this? I gotta think about a mistake. I don't know
I
if
I do kind of. Um, yeah, so there was a time where I worked at Walmart and I was driving home one night. I had a little something in my car that I shouldn't have had, and I ended up getting real close with a couple of police officers that night, and I went to where they work, and
right down to their office.
yeah, yeah, I ended up in this little cold cell, and my girlfriend had to end up come get me out. So, made a mistake that night. And I thought a lot of things, were going wrong at that point. But I actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise because I ended up leaving that job, which I really wasn't really doing anything crazy with my life. I didn't really have a bunch of goals or anything. I ended up leaving that job. Went to a window factory, ended up making some more money. It was actually a lot more money than I was making. I was on like a 1 year unsupervised probation, so I wouldn't speed and do anything illegal. Just I ended up leaving that window factory because we worked third shift. I was working with my girlfriend too. And that's when I started working at Martin. And man, I was just, those were long days, just working on my grind or working on the grind, just stacking that money. But yeah, just it really changed my life, kind of put me in the right direction. So at the time, I thought it was a mistake, like I can't believe I effed up like this. But yeah, it really pointed me in the right direction, and I went a different direction with my life. And then the second part of that was what changed your view on this? And I think what changed my view on it would have been just kind of some self-reflection. I had a lot of time for self-reflection on it and like thinking like, well, what would have happened if that didn't happen that night? Or, and I would have just, it's kind of tough. That's not really part of the question, but I wouldn't have really gone very far. I think eventually would have left, obviously, but what changed my view on it really? Just the success in the person that I am today. I'm not the most successful guy, but the person I am today, I like who I am. I like kind of the route I took. Yeah, grown. Yeah, the growth. So yeah, that kind of changed the view on it.
Yeah, that was a good answer to. I was going to say my question. It's your question. That was a good answer to the question.
Thank you.
Damon's deep
There's probably
thinker.
a few other mistakes.
Hey, that one is, exactly like you said. At the time, you're like, I'm in a holding cell right now. What is going on? And then it just kind of makes you, it opens your eyes. You're like, at some point you got to grow up. Not that you weren't growing up at the time, but you gotta.
Yes, I definitely grown a lot since then.
Yeah, during that story I was listening, it was a great answer. I'm trying to think of. I don't know. I've made mistakes, obviously.
Joshi does everything perfect.
I do everything by the books.
Example.
I've never made anything wrong or anything. I don't know. I'm just trying because I've made some stupid mistakes at some points, I think. And but I don't know which one of those have turned into a blessing in disguise. That's what I'm trying to think of. I guess kind of like what I was talking about earlier in college. The main plan was to hang out with Damon with every single day. I was hanging out with Becca, my wife now, like every chance I got. And, you know, when Damon left, I was like, shoot, I should have spent more time with Damon. I felt really bad. And like I said, I still feel bad, but obviously it was a blessing because I'm married now. And, yeah, you know, she's the love of my life, and I'm happy. So, and I still got Damon. It's not like he ran away, you know, but I guess that's kind of it's not as deep and, you know, close to the soul as yours, but anyway, hey, round of applause for Damon for his growth.
Thank you. Round of applause for Josh's marriage. Where's that?
Thank you. But I think, I don't know how you feel, Damon. I feel like this first episode, you know, there were some rocky points, obviously, you know, up and down, but I feel like it was pretty good. And other episodes, you guys in the comments can give us suggestions for topics of an episode. We can start doing different topics, talk about different things. I think it's going to be a success.
Sure.
And if not, if you guys don't watch it, I think it'll still be fun because I'm talking with my boy for I don't even know how long we've been recording. I said 10 to 20 minutes. I feel like we've been talking for about 45.
Yeah, I don't know what time we started either.
What time is it?
It is 4:56 at the moment.
Holy cow, we've been talking a long time. Hey, but that's epic. That's how it's going to go. Anyway, David, do you have any other closing thoughts for this first episode?
Just thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Any comment, like, subscription, just boost the algorithm. Check out the videos. If this is your first video you're seeing, check out the channel. Lots of great fishing stuff. And even if you aren't into fishing, dude's funny. He's got hilarious edits on here. So that's one of my favorite aspects to his videos is he makes great edits.
I appreciate that. I work hard on my editing. You know, I try to keep people entertained because obviously I can watch me fishing all day long. I love fishing. But Damon, like I said, he's fished before, but he's not out there, you know, every single day like I am. And, you know, he's not watching fishing videos on YouTube every day. But I really, you know, he's one of my biggest supporters, if not the biggest supporter. So I appreciate you, buddy. And when we were talking about starting this, you know, I felt like it was going to be a good idea. And the more episodes we do, the further we're going to grow. You know, Damon, he doesn't post on YouTube. He's not in front of the camera every day. You know, he'll start getting used to it. I'll start getting used to it. I'm not usually talking to a face cam like this. Usually have a chest mount. But anyway, we'll end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, like he said, like, comment, subscribe, and even if you don't watch this, we're going to post this because it's going to be fun, and hopefully it grows. So, nothing you can do to bring me down, and that D is fire. Is that Gypsy Rose? Did she say that?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. That D is fire.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and
have a great day.
Have a great day, and as always, keep it real. Noggin.
Follow your arrow.
Follow your arrow.
Noggin.
See ya.